Hi everyone, welcome to our Laravel Real-time Chat Application series episode 9. In this tutorial, we're going to show the user list with recent messages in sidebar. So let's dive into this. Here is our part, and what we'll do in this tutorial, we'll first design a default chat route and make a navigation from here. Like we'll make a navigation here in chat, and also like this design is for if we select a user, right? But we need to design also if someone enter into this route, what it should be look like. It should be like we'll show here like no user is selected, please select a user to start chatting, right? How we can get this data? This data is actually what we need to do. We need to get the recent user which has been sent message by me, right? By this user. So we'll prepare that query also. So let's start. So first, so if we go to web.php, we can see our route is chat.index for the in chat default route. So we can go to authenticated layout, and in here we can actually create a new link here. So let's create a new link, but I think we can just copy this and let's name it chat, and for chat it would be like route command D or control D chat.index. Okay, so it would be like that. So yeah, look, that is chat route automatically added. Perfect. Next thing is default behavior. So if someone comes here in chat route, so we would not show this design, right? But if someone click on the user and like we go to a new route like chat/1, that means with user d1 I'm chatting, so then we will show this design. Okay, otherwise we will not show this design, and that route also be created using React, so no problem. Okay, so if we go to our pages/chat/chat.jsx, we can see this interface, and from here like we don't show this header, these messages, this input. We don't show anything for this scenarios, right? So instead of this, we will not show for this in this chat route, right? So for now, like control command X, or just comment out this part and add instead of different UI, right? So like please select and select a user to start chatting, right? So something like that, but definitely with a good design. Okay, great. So if we write that, it's look like this is not a problem, it's perfectly fine. And what we need to do then, we need to make some classes to here, like we need to show it in center, right? Like currently it's in top, we don't like that, we'll show it in center. So it would be like div.flex dot like justify center, also item center, make everything center for this. And other things could be like bg slate 100, and that's fine. Paste it here, all shift F, format it. So we have also add the height, and also it would be item center because item center is there also. It's bg, and make that height of full screen, H screen. So save it. Yeah, perfect. So it's now in at the middle. And then add some classes like font, bold, text, text gray 500 to this paragraph. And if we just go now, so you will see it's like perfect. For by default its behavior would be like this, and if someone select here, then that UI would appear. Okay, so perfect. For now our this part is done. Next part, we need to make a query to get the recent users whom has got a message from this. You can see like which user we need to find out actually. So that's the user is like, suppose I am currently user ID 2, right? So if we go to that users table, like this is my current user and this user ID is 2. If we go to message table, so which user currently I need to show there, actually by to whom we have I have messaged somehow. That means this user I have messaged and this user I have messaged. Okay, so who is this? Actually both is like user ID 1, and let's make something new, or like 2, and let's make it 2. So then it two things like these and these, but let's keep this another like 4 or 5, whatever. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. These three user, the user ID is 1, and here is 3, and here is 1, right? But I need to fetch like for 1, which I need to fetch this one, right? The last messages. And for 3, which I need to fetch this one, right? This is the last message for user ID 3. That's it, right? So let's make a quick query to do that. So if we make just a simple query, getting sender ID, receiver ID, and message, we get there. That's all of the data. But let's make some where clause, like which data we need to want. We need to want where sender ID to or receiver ID equal to, right? That's it. And then we need to make things like grouping, like we need to group by like 1 2 1 2 2 1. Like we need to make these things group by. We don't need repetitive data, right? So if we make a simple grouping by sender ID and receiver ID and reload, and yeah, we have got this exactly the which message we need. So we've got this. So if we just a little more explore it, which user we need, actually this 1 and 2, this user actually we need. And for 1 we need this. So if we have got a user, then we don't user ID sender or receiver 1, then we don't need to fetch that in future in again, right? Because we have already got that user, so we don't need to get his message again. So and also we can make this like limit 20, so that we can get a limit of those data. So look like this. So if we go to our chat repository where we have added our logics, so let's make a function for that so that it would be separated, don't integrate with other methods. So following solid principle, let's make a method get recent users with message and passing the sender ID. Definitely we can get the sender ID here, but I'm not preferring it, so that we can use this same method several times in several places. So that would be more better, right? So let's just return this, return message, and obviously in where, and we will use a closer function for our query to make the query, because in our query we have multiple same thing, like query where sender ID. Actually we can use the similar approach at there, but for now we don't need to proceed with sender ID and receiver ID. We can only proceed with one, right? Because for this case only the current user is there, and we don't need to think about the second receiver ID here, right? Sender ID is this sender ID, and also or where receiver ID also this sender ID, right? For group by we will use multiple group by sender ID and also receiver ID, and then we will get the data from message table. But before getting the data, we don't need to get all of the stuffs. We can make this selective. So just select and select what we need to get, and then message. Actually, this is the last message. So that's it, and also add semicolon here. And what we have missed, and also if as this needs to pass here, so we have to use and pass it inside the first bracket as well the sender. Okay, so it's passed. So we can get the get recent user with message, but there is some duplicates, right? So we need to process these data again and make the real one, right? What we need. Also we can limit it, like we don't need we need to get all of the data. We can make limited 30 or 20 or whatever is, it's up to you as your requirements. So let's make it like recent messages equal to this, and after that we need to filter out this data, get recent message with filter out these duplicate or dummy things, right? And that's it, recent messages. As so we have the sender ID, receiver ID, and message, right? So let's get another separate data response what we will pass from here, and we will actually make the data like so, like data of array. Here would be user ID, and like we need to find the user ID from the send message, and from there, like suppose for one, and another is message. So that's it, we'll actually get and return to our system, but not the one, definitely also return the data here here instead of data, and perfect. And now no, it would not be data, it would be this, and also would return this, and there would be a semicolon. Yeah, but for now we don't use one. If we have added these to this list, to the based on the send ID and receiver ID, we don't add it again, right? So let's, okay, so we need to first find the actual user ID. For this case, what would be the user ID? User ID would be like so. If message sender ID equal to our passing sender ID, then we don't need this, we need message receiver ID, otherwise need message sender ID, right? So that's the user ID, so it would be here. But this data will only add if this user ID doesn't added here in once time, right? So we can check that, like if array with this user ID, then we don't add it here again, right? So user ID, and definitely in this array, in recent messages message, in this array, if not in array, then we'll do this, otherwise don't. So let's just paste it. So now I think it would be perfect, we'll only get the related data. So let's call this controller, then chat controller. We don't need to make this so like recent is chat and get chat messages, and here we would pass this request user of ID, right? Perfect. And let's see, save it, and let's, in our chat route we have actually passed this as props. So if we go to our chat route, so we can see we have already added a console log to check if the props passing properly or not at here. So let's see, reload it, and let's see what we got in our console. We have something, we have misspelled the limit to chat repository. It would be limit, right? List is not in group by clause and contains non-aggregated column. We have missed anything. Let's see. Yeah, it's saying like we cannot get the message from here because it's not in group by, but we don't want the messages in group by actually. So for this, what we need to do, by default actually the grouping system will work only the selective clause, but let's just change it here in our chat repository. Before getting this, we'll add a div statement like set sessions SQL mode equal to normal. So let's just reload it again. Yeah, hope so we have got the data. If we reload this, recent messages, look, we have got 3 messages, user ID 1 and message ID 131, but we don't need 1 again, right? Or better, like let the used user IDs equal to empty array, and in here just we don't need to we can check with this used user IDs. If not in array used user IDs, then we can add it in here, right? Otherwise also we need to add this use in here equal to this user ID, right? We also don't necessarily like this in array this user ID. Now our array is simpler, we don't need to process any separate array here also. Like if user ID not in this used user IDs, then we can do that, check it again. So if we check now, we have got two results, like 1 and 3. That's perfect. And also it's not necessary like this message full object, it's not necessary. We can get this message and message. Okay, so let's see. Okay, perfect. So user ID 1, simple message. User ID 3, message 2. That's great. And also we can add here like a order by ID DSC, so that we can get the descending data first. Yeah, now got the latest data first. That's awesome. So now what we need to do, we need to show these recent users on the list. That's it. But before that, we always try to follow good coding practices. That's why let's just cut this data, cut this method from here and add a separate method. And as this method will not call publicly to outside, so let's create a private method so that we can use only it here. So filter recent. So we'll just make some proper filtering here, and definitely we'll return that. And what we need to pass, we need to pass recent messages and send ready, right? So just copy this and paste it in here. And also we need to pass the send ready from that method. Yeah, and send ready, it would be an integer, and recent messages, it would be an array, right? And also the response would be an array. Yeah, and what we return this result, which is an array. Return this. And definitely, as we are getting some data, it would be better we rename it like get filter recent messages, and instead of returning this, let's just return these get filter messages. So it would be recent messages, and then it would be sender ID. Perfect. Okay, so like it's perfect. So and also it's also an array. Return type is an array. And what else? And this message, it could be a message. Okay, so now everything's perfect. So let's do the front end part. If we go to chat, and let's check also once again if we got the data. Sometimes refactoring could break things. Yeah, it's also break things. Must be type recent messages, must be type array, but it's eloquent collection given. Okay, so no problem. So actually we have sent this, so at this actually an eloquent collection, right? So let's just copy things from, you can copy things from here. Just copy this collection, and instead of array you just make this collection, import it. Collection could be eloquent in illuminate database eloquent collection, right? So import the proper one, because that is so many. So if you import other things, then it would be break. Okay, so save it and let's reload again. So perfect, nothing breaks, everything works perfectly. So next thing, we will just show that list data. Go to our chat, and in chat, in sidebar, there is a chat sidebar, right? So in chat sidebar, we will pass this data, right? Pass these recent users, right? But here we have the user ID, but we don't need, we need the name, we need the avatar. So how we can get those? So for that, whenever we pass the data, we'll get the user data from here. We can process these recent users with message. For each recent user with message, and save it. And in here, let's just and we need to find the name of that user. So name would be user or ID, user message of user ID, user message of, and also we need only the value. Sorry, it would not be user message, it would be user ID, and we need the value of name for the user. That's it. Hope so. If we have the user valid user, we can get that username there. Import this user. We have missed a mistake. It would be here, be a bracket, right? Not here. It's normally it would not pass the data. Let's keep making an key value pair. So it would be recent user messages of that key, and then inside of that key we will pass the name. Okay, and if somehow name is not there, it would be empty, but let's just make this normally empty string. Yeah, so if we just reload and check if the first name we got or not. Recent messages, yeah, we got the name, but for 3 definitely there is no user with this 3. So for now we're going to this, but if we need another filter, like we need the avatar, then we can update this later. But in this tutorial we are not working with this avatar. For avatar we need to edit the profile, and in the profile we need to add the avatar image, but it will do that in later. So in here what we need to do in chat sidebar, we need to pass like users. We need to pass a props users equal to, let's pass this here, like props dot recent. We can check this from our, it would be like check recent messages, or it would be like that recent messages. We're in chat sidebar, we'll pass the recent messages as props. So we have passed that as recent messages props. And if we go to the chat sidebar, then so in here we have passed the recent messages. Let's just make this so recent messages. So let's make this loop in this portion. So here we have added 3 user, right? But for now we don't need this static data right now. We can make this thing dynamic from our props. So delete all, and what we need to do, just make a map here, user message recent messages dot map, and then like what we can get from there, like we can make it like user or user message, something like that, no problem. And we can also pass index there, and then pass it. We will make some print type of thing. So instead of return, we'll give first bracket and just paste this JSX in here. Alt Shift F, format it. Okay, and definitely as in loop we know that we need to pass a key. So let's pass the key with the index, right? And we need we have the user. So how we can show, for now like we don't work with avatar, so keep it as it is. And instead of this loop fiasco, it would be like user dot name. Okay, so it's user name, and instead of that message we will show the message here. This is the last message, right? So user dot message, perfect. And that's it. So let's see. Yeah, so now it's John Doe, and second is message 2, but first is it's nothing here. So let's just in a different way. So just if user.name.length is greater than 0, we will show the name, otherwise will not show anything, will show the name. But normally this condition would not create, but for now let's proceed with this. Okay, so we have the users, and also for now let's just add a font or some user icon here. So okay, so if somehow if some avatars doesn't pass, so we can like make this like if user dot avatar. So if someone pass the user avatar, or user dot avatar, if user dot avatar let's make not equal undefined. If it's not undefined, then we'll show this with an image. Otherwise we'll show this font some icon and remove these. So let's add some CSS also here, text gray and text 5 pixel. 5 pixel is automatically 48 px. I think it's perfect. If user ID provided, then also we need to make these things dynamic, don't static data. But for now, let's keep it like this. We can proceed it later. So okay, perfect. So as there is no avatar there, so we will show this default avatar. That's perfect. So in next part, whenever we clicks on here, we'll like as this. If someone clicks on here, we will get the all of the messages of this user and will display in here. Okay. So thank you for watching my tutorial. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.